during this month of Elul and the period all the way till the beginning of Tishrei, as Rabbi spoke about last week, we say the paragraph, the Tehillim from King David, David Hashem Uri v'Yishi, that to David Hashem was his light and his salvation. Rabbi spoke last week about the concept of what David means by talking about my light. Talked about, quoting the Malbim, he brought out the point that so much of our life is full of confusion. And if we're able to have the perspective, if Hashem is willing to share with us, give us the sensitivity, the wisdom, the das, the ability to be able to, the bina, to understand implications, we're going to have, with clarity, we'll be much more successful. I'd like to focus on the idea that it's Ori, that it's Hashem has a personal relationship. He's going to share with me a light that will be able to give me the ability to understand how to go forward. King David, in the world he lived in, at the time he lived in, was the first king who gave the Jewish people, for 400 years they were in the land of Israel, but they didn't have complete peace. Until King David came, that was the first time in the history that we had complete and total peace. And because of that, we then King David was able to successfully orchestrate the building of the temple. Hashem said, you, King David, won't be able to do it, but your son will do it as part of your replacement. And the temple is always talked about as Mikdash David, the Beis HaMikdash of King David. But King David needed to understand, is war a good thing? Is war a bad thing? How do I know when to go to war? How do I know what to choose, what to not? There was a need to have a clarity that's not obvious and that's not straightforward. It's not, there's a formalic way to know when to go and when not to go to war. Yoshua had the same question. When he was going against Ai, he was called to task and he lost because he did not spend his time. He was not capable of putting his time to study the Torah, to earn the light, to be able to see the proper way to go to war. And in the Battle of Ai, he lost. As the Gemara Megillah teaches us. That's what David is saying, that Hashem is my R. In our lives, the lives we live in today, where we have questions, should we give more carrot to our children? Do we need to use more stick? How do we know the proper balance? When it comes to questions of, are we supposed to be learning more or spending more time davening? Rabbi Ruderman, my Rosh used to say that in the month of Elul, as we say, Kaveh al Hashem, we should have faith in Hashem. You would say in the month of Elul is the time to learn less Gemara, more Musar, and more davening. This is a time set aside that we are trying to earn and have the relationship with our Creator that we should be able to deserve to have the light. So much of the world we live in today is about the question of happiness. What is the definition of happiness? Is happiness dependent upon possessions? Is happiness dependent upon vacations? What is the definition of happiness? How does a person understand that? It's not something that's obvious. It's not straightforward. Even in the study of Torah, or the study of what gives me a satisfaction, what gives me a sense of purpose and direction of where I should be going. These are the questions that have to be dealt with. And it's the time of Elul now. Everybody here is going to be coming to Rosh Hashanah. We're going to have, thank God, high attendance. We're having the indoor meeting for those who want, with social distancing. Indoor, we will be having an outdoor tent, which we already have a lot of people signed up. It's been very great response to the fact that there's going to be an outdoor tent available. We invite everybody to come. Once again, it's Rosh Hashanah. It's the beginning of the year. You have to sit and you have to decide decisions that you should be making for the year. What are the priorities in your life? Is upward mobility most important to you, or is family and friends? Where are you going to put your energy? Are you a workaholic, or are you a family man? These are questions that aren't straightforward. There's no clear answer to it. You have to be able to have the R. We ask Hashem during give us the R so that we can make those choices, that we're not in the confusion, to be able to choose those choices that will help us start off the new year. This past year with Corona, it's a tremendous amount of upheaval. I would like everybody to spend the time and think about the last 6 months and ask yourself, did you take advantage? Are you a different person when you had all that free time? Did you personally take advantage of the opportunity to create a more lichtig person, a more lit up person, a person who understands, who can respond, who can react better? Or did you fall into the trap of spending all your time talking about Corona or the elections? Too many people I met over this period spent their time discussing Corona or the election. It was a time where Hashem took us out of our mundane lives and changed our lives. And we had 6 weeks of davening by ourselves. And then we got minyan back. Were our minyanim better? Were people more responsive? Were people more committed to davening? Or were people trying to make it faster? These are the challenges that we have to think about as we enter Hashanah. We have to ask and beg that we should have that clarity of light, as the Malbim of Rabbi mentioned, that we can be able to understand what is real and not be caught up in the confusion of day-to-day life.